All right, let's talk about one of the most powerful ideas in AI today. How do you take a massive general purpose model, one that knows a little bit about everything, and turn it into a true specialist, an expert in your specific world? Yeah, we're diving deep into fine tuning.
So here's the big question, right? This is the challenge that developers, startups, and big companies are all wrestling with. You've got this amazing AI, but how do you actually make it speak your language, understand your data, and actually solve your problems without, completely emptying your bank account?
To get to the answer, we first need to really understand the core concept of fine-tuning. We have to get why it's been such a huge and expensive challenge for so long.
Think of it this way. Fine-tuning is like taking a brilliant college grad who has tons of general knowledge and putting them through a specialized master's program. You're taking everything they already know and sharpening it on your company's internal documents, your unique brand voice, or your specific financial data. The goal is to make it perform one job with absolute expert precision. But, and this is a big but, there's a catch. These models are just massive. We're talking billions of parameters. Think of them as the individual neurons in the AI's brain. To train all of them, you need a staggering amount of computational power. And that means sky-high costs for GPUs, for memory. It creates this huge barrier that makes it really tough for most people to even get started. So we had to find smarter ways to do it. And that need for a better way has led us down this really cool path of innovation, kind of like an efficiency ladder. We started with the original brute force method. Then we developed a clever shortcut. And finally, we came up with what I'm calling the ultimate hack, a method that makes this tech more accessible than ever before. So let's climb this ladder step by step. All right, first up, let's start at the beginning with the original method. It's the most powerful for sure, but also the most demanding of them all. Full fine-tuning, well, it holds nothing back. You take your dataset and you use it to update every single one of the model's billions of parameters. The car analogy is perfect here. You're not just tuning up the engine. You are taking the entire thing apart and rebuilding it from scratch, just for raw, specialized power. And this is where you hit a massive trade-off. On one hand, you get the absolute best performance possible, because the model learns a really deep, complete understanding of your data. But on the other hand, the cost is just mind-blowing. You need a whole fleet of high-end GPUs, huge datasets, and you also run this really high risk of overfitting. That's where the model doesn't really learn, it just memorizes your examples, which isn't what you want. So who actually uses this? Well, think really high-stakes stuff. We're talking about training a model on classified legal archives or for deep scientific research, where every last bit of accuracy is absolutely critical, and the budget is, let's just say, not a concern. For most of us, this is way out of reach. Okay, so if that's the brute force approach, let's move to the next rung on our ladder. Let's look at the smarter way. This is LoRA, and it's probably the most popular fine-tuning method out there today. Now, the idea behind LoRA is just brilliant. Instead of rebuilding the whole engine, it freezes the original model. All those billions of parameters, they stay exactly as they are. Then, it injects these small, new, trainable modules into the model's layers. So, you're not messing with the core engine at all. You're just bolting on a super efficient turbocharger that you can train really, really quickly. And the difference in scale here is wow. I mean, just look at that. We go from updating 100% of the parameters with old method all the way down to less than 5%, sometimes even less than 1% with LoRA. It's just a huge leap in efficiency. So the huge win here is obviously efficiency. Training is way faster, you can often do it on just a single GPU, and the final result isn't a massive new model, it's this tiny little adapter file. But here's the trade-off. You can't fundamentally change the model's core logic. You're not making it smarter at reasoning. You're just specializing it for a task, not re-educating it from the ground up. This makes LoRA the perfect tool when you need to adapt a model for a specific job. You need a customer service bot that sounds exactly like your brand, or a coding assistant that knows your company's style guide. LoRA is definitely your go-to. And now we get to the top of our efficiency ladder. This is the real game changer. This is the technique that truly democratizes fine-tuning and puts it in the hands of almost anyone. QLoRA is like a two-step magic trick. It's so clever. First, you take that huge original model and you quantize it. It's a fancy word, but it just means you shrink its memory footprint a lot. In this case, down to 4-bit precision. Then, once you have that much lighter model, you apply the exact same LoRA technique on top of it. You're making the car's frame out of lightweight carbon fiber before you bolt on the turbo.
So, just how efficient are we talking? Well, get this. You can take a truly enormous model, one with 70 billion parameters, and you can fine-tune it on a standard gaming GPU. Yeah, the kind you might have in your desktop computer right now. I mean, that was pure science fiction just a few years ago. It puts this world-class AI customization power into the hands of startups, researchers, even just curious developers. What you get is pretty much the best cost-to-performance deal available today. You get the amazing efficiency of LoRa, but on hardware you probably already own. And the best part? There's only a very small dip in accuracy compared to that brute force, full fine-tuning method. It is an absolute game changer. Okay, so we have the powerful brute force method, the smart shortcut, and the ultimate hack. With all these options on the table, how in the world do you choose the right one for what you're trying to do?
Well, this table really lays it all out. The trend here is crystal clear. As you go from left to right, the hardware you need and the money you'll spend just drops dramatically. So look, if raw power is all you care about and money is no object, then yeah, full fine-tuning is your answer. But for pretty much everyone else who's driven by cost and efficiency, the answer is going to be on the right side of this chart with LoRa and especially QLoRA.
But hang on. Before you jump into any of these, there's a really important rule of thumb you need to remember. Don't start with the most complicated solution. You should always start with the simplest thing that could possibly work. Try improving your prompts first. Just get better at asking the model questions. If that doesn't work, try a technique called RAG, which basically gives the model your documents to read in real time. Only when you've tried those and they're not enough should you even think about fine-tuning.
This quote really says it all, doesn't it? You have to earn your way to fine-tuning. Prove that the simpler, cheaper methods won't get the job done before you commit the time, the money, and the resources to these more advanced techniques. That's really the core idea behind a smart AI strategy.
So there you have it, the complete map of modern fine-tuning. You've seen the giant superhighway of full fine-tuning, and you've seen the nimble, efficient backroads of QLoRA. You get the trade-offs now, the balance between raw power and cost. So the only question left is, for your next project, which path are you going to take?